Canine fitness winter preparation. What do we need to do that might be unique or different in order to exercise and do things outdoors in the colder weather with our dogs? I've been doing some shopping, I admit, shopping for myself, and I wanted to share with you some of the latest gear and the new things that I've gotten specifically to prepare for the winter. If you joined me, oh gosh, I think it was maybe about a month or two ago, I did kind of a rundown of some of my favorite equipment, things I carry with me in my backpack when I go out running and on trails with my dogs. But I found out, well, I would say in the last couple months, I've been thinking about the winter weather coming. And now that I'm in the midst of dealing with this, I had to make some changes to my equipment and what I carry with me. So I actually have some items here. I have a PowerPoint. I'm going to go through this with you. And I think I'm going to write an email, like an article on this. If you're interested in getting my write-up, kind of like my written notes, just put email. Let me know. Just say email, and I'll privately reach out if I don't have your email already. I want to make sure I get that because I'm going to write down a summary and I'll put the hyperlinks to the different items I'm going to share today. So just let me know if you want to get that email from me. If you're just now hopping in, my name is Erica Bowling. I am the owner and founder of Northeast Canine Conditioning. I love helping people take their sport dogs or working dogs, turning them into the elite canine athletes that they are, but also helping pet dogs and staying fit and healthy. So as I run through this today, I'm curious, do you live in a cold climate? Do you live in a climate where you have cold weather in the winter time? And is this something that you're having to deal with? I don't know about you, but for me personally, I just recently moved to Maine this past summer. And yes, it gets cold, it gets snowy, and I'm determined. I'm like, make the most of it. Do some winter sports, pick up outdoor activities outside, and it really, really changes your perspective. I'm originally from Indiana. I grew up, I would say the majority of my youth, I grew up in South Carolina, and I actually got my PhD at Michigan State University. And I tell you, I was really nervous about growing up in the South and moving to Michigan. I was really nervous about the winters. And I was like, I don't know about this. That's where I went to Michigan State University, and I was nervous about going up there. That's the university I wanted to go to. And one of the things I decided was I'm gonna learn to snow ski. I'm gonna take up a winter sport so that it would change my view on winter. And it totally does. Instead of going like, oh no, it's cold, it's snowy, you'd see the snow and you're like, yes, it's snow, let's get outside. So this is kind of a theme going through, and it's not so much it's cold, it's wintry out, let's stay inside all day, but how can we go out and just kind of maximize, get outdoors and stay as active as we can outdoors with our dogs. But it does take some special considerations. So if you do go out in a cold climate, let me know. And also another consideration I had is that I do a lot by myself. I go out with my dogs. I go into Acadia National Park. I hike with them. I travel. I do a lot on my own. So my background in search and rescue, I also was thinking about a lot of safety considerations of being outdoors, doing things outdoors alone with just my dogs, with no other people near me. How do I stay safe? What do I need to carry with me? And then now adding on to that is we have cold temperatures. So when the temperature goes below freezing or is near freezing, I don't know if you followed me about a year ago, I was doing canicross with my dog 2 different times, and I tripped during canicross on some tree roots. Thankfully, I was not seriously injured. I did mess up my shoulder. It took like a year to get better. But that was kind of a wake-up call. You might only be a mile from your house, but I could have easily, twisted my ankle or broken a bone. I might not have been able to get, walk on my own to get to the car. That was not the case, but it does bring into mind, how do we stay safe now that we deal with the cold weather? If you're out alone and if something happens, hopefully it never does, but you want to be prepared. So that's kind of what I was pulling these ideas and resources from. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is, this was something that was important to me, is a Garmin InReach Mini. Here where I live, there's a lot of parts on Mountain Desert Island where the cell reception is not very good. Also, if you have an older cell phone, the battery might not last very long. And so if there's an emergency, even if my car has a flat, or if I'm out in the middle of the trails and something happens, my car has a dead battery, I need a way to communicate to people. And what happens if my cell phone battery is dead and if I don't have a cell reception? So this is a satellite. Is anybody familiar with these? It's a satellite communicator. And so it goes by satellite. It has an SOS button on the side for an emergency. This is one that has a subscription service. It has different levels of subscription services, but I do have to pay monthly for it. You can do just month to month and cancel it when you don't need it. But I get really bad cell reception in my house. So I thought, this is a really good thing to have as a backup. If I lose electricity, I lose internet, I don't have cell connection. And if my generator's not working and living alone, if you're by yourself, you need a way to communicate. So kind of for emergency sake. So this was something, it just makes me feel a lot better, especially when the temperatures were really dropping. If you're stuck on the trail or something happens and you can't get to your car for a while, it can be life or death because of the temperatures. So it just really made me feel a lot more comfortable knowing that I'm out on the trails. And I have this with me. I can text with it. They have like emergency text, but it also has that SOS. You can automate, you can have preset text messages. So you can kind of text people and say, and you can identify who you're texting to. And you'll say, hey, I'm fine. I just got back to my car. You can even have it as one of the services. I don't pay for the kind of the cheaper service, but you can also have it where you can connect through social media, through the internet, and people can you can identify who can track you and follow you. But what I like about it is by satellite. So it has a better reach. When my cell phone goes out, it does not have a service, I can use this. So one of the things I liked about this is also it's little, it's lightweight, throw in my backpack. A negative for it, though, is that as I'm getting older, my eyesight, I have to wear reading glasses, and the screen's really small, and the words on the screen are really small. So I actually, in my backpack, when I'm out with my dogs, I keep reading glasses. I keep glasses in there because if something happens and I lose my contact lenses, or if I have to read the really small letters on here, I can't do that unless I have reading glasses. So unfortunately, I have to pack those glasses with me in case something happens. So so that is one thing that was a purchase. They're a couple $100. I've seen them on sale. I did get mine used from a person in a search and rescue who had upgraded his equipment, and it was only about 6 months old. So, they are a little bit pricey, but, it's just nice to know that I've got that as a backup. So that was something, especially when the cold weather hit, I'm like, no, I really need to get this. And also carrying it in my car, winter driving and stuff. I basically just grab it, keep it with me whenever I'm driving also. The other thing here, if you guys remember a while back, I shared with you a backpack that I was using. But one of the things that was happening is when I go out on the trails is I carry water with me. I told you, my glasses with me. I now carry my InReach, my Garmin InReach Mini. I carry this with me. And also with the winter weather, I'm now wanting to carry, because when I'm running, I don't have very many layers of clothes on. I don't have thick, bulky clothes on. So I like to throw in like some extra warm gloves. I like to throw in an extra a top to put over, if I need a little bit of more extra warmth. Ideally, it'd be nice if I can carry a whole winter coat, but they get pretty big and bulky. So what happened was I needed to get a bigger backpack to carry the winter gear. And I do run and jog with this. This is the Osprey, the Synchro 20. It's a hydration pack. I needed something a little bit larger, and I think when they advertise it for like bicycling and stuff. But they have women's. I actually purchased one of their women's backpacks for trail running, and it was too small on me. I'm about 5'9.5", 5'10", and I'm real long in the torso. And the women's backpack I thought would be better because I'm not real broad in the shoulders. But the women's backpack, the waist belt sat like way up on my rib cage. And so this is a men's large is what I got. So if you're smaller and shorter, then the women's styles should be good. But like I said, I'm about 5'9.5", 5'10", long in the torso, and the women's was too small for me. So yeah. So Amelia, if you let me know if you want the email, I don't know if you missed this, but I'm going to write out like an email. I'm going to send out an email, and I'll have the names of the different things I'm sharing and some hyperlinks to them. So just say email if you want me to send that email to you. But that is the backpack. Like I said, I needed an upgrade to the backpack. I needed a bigger size backpack, something really comfortable so that it's not rubbing. Oh, a couple other things I want to mention. For the winter, well, really for anything outdoors, I like bright colors. Ideally, if I can get like bright orange, when you think about hunters, you know, the bright orange, bright colors. A couple years ago, I think it was about 2 years ago, I actually heard about a sled dog team that was run over by a snowmobiler. Now I'm not sure if they were drinking or what the situation was with that, but you know, when you're out and if there's snowmobilers around or vehicles or cars or whatever, I want to be very, very visible. And so when I choose my outdoor gear, when I'm out with my dogs, I do like to have colors that are very, very visible. I have this, you know, big bright orange neon hat that I wear. And so I specifically purchased the bright colors, and they had different colors. And the red, I think the Garmin InReach Mini came in red, but the backpack and some of the other stuff, you'll see I have a lot of red, and it's because I wanted the bright colors. So that is one thing I want to mention. And also another thing with the backpacks, there are backpacks that are like for running. And what I noticed, because I do run with my backpack with stuff in it, and I mean, it's not super heavy, but it does fill. But one of the things to think about is I have herniated discs in my lower back. And what I like about some of these backpacks is a nice supportive waist belt. Not all backpacks have a belt around the waist. And I found that a lot of the running backpacks actually are like a vest. I don't like those. I like to actually have that. If you can see in the photo here, there's a nice waist belt. And the idea here is that that waist belt sits right on the hips, right above the hips, and it takes some of that weight off your back. And so for me, that makes a huge difference to have a backpack and have that some of that weight sitting on my hip bones rather than pulling on my back. So if any of you have lower back problems, back issues, even if you don't, if you're just, you know, want to protect your back, they have some really good running vests and backpacks for running. But I didn't even look at the ones that I saw that were more like a vest, because none of them had the belt around the waist that sits at the hips. There were some of the backpacks. There are a number of just kind of day packs that don't have the belt. A lot of times the belt, they'll use that for the heavy backpacks. So this was a nice kind of a smaller kind of mid-range backpack that had that belt on it. But like I said, if you look for backpacks specifically for running and jogging, a lot of them are going to be a vest. So I really like this backpack. It looks like it's going to be the perfect size for me. The next one, I really, really like this. This is, let me pull this out. Nonstop Dog Wear. This is their long jacket, their long distance jacket. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of dogs, like my younger dog, like Knox, he doesn't need a jacket. I mean, I will take him out in 15-degree weather Fahrenheit, 20-degree. I'm not out there, and I'm not in the climate here in Maine. If we'll have like real bitter cold, it doesn't stay for a long time. It might just be for a couple days. And then the average temperature where I live here in the winter, the average high is in the 30s. So for a lot of these dogs, I see a lot of dogs out with jackets, and I'm like, they really don't need jackets. If they're active and moving and running and stuff, they don't necessarily need a jacket unless you're, in the real bitter cold. The reason why I got this jacket was for Bocce. Bocce's almost 11 and a half years old. And as we get older, old dogs, old people, like our bodies just don't work as well in kind of acclimating to the different changing temperatures. And for older dogs, they might be more sensitive to the cold. And I was thinking more like if I take them out at night, if it's really like the other day, it was like, I don't know, 9 degrees, 5 degrees out, really windy outside. So I thought, it'd be nice for him, my older dog, especially if it's really windy or nasty outside, to just put the jacket on him. The other thing I thought about is sometimes when I'm packing the car and getting ready to go to the park, the car, I have a big SUV, a Suburban, and it can get really cold in there, and it can take quite a while for my car to warm up. And so I also thought, you know, if Bachi is sitting in the car and he's sitting around waiting for it to get warmed up, for my older dog, that was more why I bought this. I am not, you know, I'm not the kind of person, you know, where it's 50 degrees and, you know, my healthy young dog is wearing jackets around, but the nonstop dog wear, this is thick. This is warm. You know, I see sled dogs and stuff that are wearing this. So unless you have a dog that you really need to keep that dog warm, whether an older dog or they have unusually, you know, they're sensitive to the cold more so than normal. But if it's not that cold where you live, probably this jacket's going to be too hot for your dogs, if your dog even needs a jacket. But if you live in a really cold climate, or you have a dog that needs that extra warmth, you might want to look at it. Oh, also as of yesterday, they were running a really good sale on their website, and on the US website, Nonstop Dogwear in the USA. Check it out. Keep an eye on it. They were doing a sale a while back, and then the sale was not going. And then just last night, I saw that they were doing a sale. I think it was almost 50% off. I think the normal price is like around $64, $69 US dollars, and I saw it for like $35 US dollars. So that is a purchase that I really like. But Bachi's only worn it a couple times. It was, you know, taking him out to go to the bathroom at 2 in the morning, and we had gale winds, and like I said, it was like 9 degrees out. Knox didn't wear a jacket. Okay, the other thing here is, now this isn't just for winter. This is something that everybody should have, is a medical kit. And you don't have to purchase a medical kit. You can make your own. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy a medical kit that already has everything in it. And there's a lot of the stuff in it is the same for the human medical and the canine, but there are some unique things like, you know, this one has an extra leash in there, and it has something specific for the dogs. But you can definitely, I'm sure it's a lot cheaper if you put your own medical kit together. But this is a medical kit. It is the Adventure Dog series. And they have, I think about 3 or 4 different medical kits for dogs, like a pet dog one. This is called the medical kit. It's the work-in dog. But this, I actually had a couple of veterinarians look at this, and they said it was pretty comprehensive, and they really, the ones that I shared it with, they liked it. To be honest, I kept telling myself to get a medical kit, throw one in the car, and I put it off. But now, especially with the winter, I'm like, Erica, just go buy that medical kit. This one is a little bit over $100. They have some that are like $29. Like I said, if you make it yourself and go to the pharmacy and just purchase the individual items, it'll be cheaper. But for convenience sake, I just went ahead and purchased the medical kit. Now, I put Musher's Secret in here. As of right now, I've not used it, but I do get a lot of people who deal with in cold weather, also in rough terrain, or the dog's paws getting cracked or dry or sensitive to the weather and the conditions. And I've heard a lot of people recommend Musher's Secret. Like I said, I haven't used it. Maybe this winter I'll need it, but I do get a lot of people that ask about, protecting or supporting the paw pads of the dogs. So I just wanted to throw this in here for Musher's Secret, because it is popular. Any of you use Musher's Secret? There might be alternatives. I'm not sure what the alternative would be. Anytime I hear people reference anything like this, this is the one that I always hear them reference. So the Musher's Secret. So I think I had a slide. I know it's going to be a little small for you to see it. Let me see. I think I had a slide that here for the medical kit. It has, just a couple of things in here. They had, this is the larger medical kit. They actually had an emergency blanket in here. And it also has a disposable skin stapler in here. Gloves. It had an initial leash. It has a light, like a headlamp. It's really tiny though. I mean, it's small, but like if you're out in the dark and you need some extra light, it does have that little headlamp that comes with it. And then other things, gauze and wraps and things like that. that also made me, I don't have a slide for this, but that also made me think about when I came to Maine. One of my students who is from Maine, she recommended getting a headlamp. She's like, oh, invest in a good headlamp. And this headlamp, like I said, I don't have a slide. It's the Black Diamond headlamp. And when she first mentioned this, I was like, well, you know, I didn't really see a need for just having a day-to-day, like having a headlamp. And, you know, you have flashlights, or, you know, when am I out? I'm normally home by the time it gets dark. Well, it gets dark in the wintertime. The sun goes down here at like 3:50 in the afternoon. And there's a couple times where I took Bachi for a walk, and as we were coming back to the car, the trail, it was getting really dark. And I live in there's woods, and at nighttime when the moon's not out, it is like pitch black. It is so black out here. And the nice thing about getting a headlamp like this is it frees your hands. You put it on your head, you know, put it on your head, and it'll shine the light right where you're walking, nice and bright. And I actually, after I've experienced even just maybe the last 4 weeks of the dark weather up here, I definitely see a use for this. And what I do now is for me to go take my dogs out and get home before it's pitch black out, I literally have to get out at like around 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm pushing it and coming back to the car. It just, again, it gives me a little bit of extra security to just throw this in my backpack. So if I'm coming back to the car and the sun's starting to set and it's getting dark out on the trail, and because of all the trees and the shade, it's going to be even darker. It's nice to know that I have some extra light with me. Also, I will say this with Bachi, as he's getting older, he stumbles more, he trips more. And for safety reasons, especially if there's any snow or ice, or if you're out on the trail, even though you can see outside, when the sun starts to go down, you want to be able to see the ground and not be tripping. Especially me, I'm guilty of tripping on those tree roots. And so that's another thing for kind of safety reasons. Even if it's not like black and completely dark outside, as that sun's going down quickly and it gets dark sooner in the winter weather, you don't want to be caught out there where you might not have really good footing and you have trouble, you know, seeing your way through. You know, it's real lightweight. I actually keep it by the back door, and it just sits by the back door if I need to grab it going out. And then when I go out with the dogs, like I said, I just throw this in my backpack also. So those are some other things. Oh, great. So Mandy, you have an alternative for the Mushroom Secret. Oh, great. Erica, you said you've used it for your dog too. Perfect. Erica, what did you use it for? Because you don't live by, Erica's in Florida, so it's not like you get all the snow and ice. What did you, or was that when you were in Pennsylvania? What did you use the Mushroom Secret for? Yeah, if you're just now logging in, if you want to get, I'll write this up as an email. Make sure I have your email address, or just write down email. And when I write this up, I'll make sure you get the email. I might have to reach out and make sure that I have your email address. Mushroom Secret for lure coursing on dry, rough terrain. Great. That's what I was wondering, if people are using it as a conditioner. But Marty, you also use boots. Yeah. So that is something, like I said, I don't have a slide on here, but my friend in Maine actually recommended the Black Diamond. And I was on a search and rescue group, and people were, they were stating some of their favorite headlamps, and a couple of them mentioned Black Diamond, and they have different, different levels and degrees of brightness and different price ranges. Oh, another thing, I didn't think about this. Another thing that I have, and I think I mentioned this before, my backpack is a whistle. So if something happens and I can't get out on my own off the trail, to draw attention to people and let them know I'm out there, it's real, you know, small and lightweight. Just throw a whistle in your backpack, right? Erica said the Mushroom Secret also helped with her paws when you walked on the sidewalks, that people had used ice melt on it. Yeah, and hiking in Pennsylvania. Great. Denise said a trainer recommended the mushing coat that is lighter for your dog to keep from scratching. Oh yeah, they have Nonstop Dogwear has a couple different jackets. I have a lighter one for Knox, and this heavier one. Like I said, the one that I have is a thick. So unless you really need something really warm, it's probably going to be too warm for a lot of dogs, unless you live where it's like really, really cold. So, but thanks for mentioning that. But yeah, I have a lighter weight one for Knox. He's like never worn it. He's worn it for photos, but I think Knox's favorite temperature is like 20 degrees out, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, so those are some of the things that I've had to add. Now I have not gone into I've changed my own clothing, and I've gotten things like yak tracks and traction for my shoes. Additional clothing for myself. That's a whole nother conversation. But these are kind of immediate things that I was thinking about to carry in my backpack and carry along with me. That is different from what I was doing earlier. Like I said, some of these, I should have been having that first aid kit all along. But that is something that I think everybody should have. Now, the next slide is, I was going to save this and wait until it actually, it's in transit. I have not received it yet. Hopefully FedEx hasn't lost it, but some of you know I'm going to be trying a new sport with the dogs. I don't know if some of you know this, but I think it's the next slide. As you know, I do dryland mushing and I do canicross. And I have ordered it's just a little tiny little sled. It's for a 1 or 2 dog sled for mushing. And I figure, hey, Knox he's leading me in the canicross. And I thought, well, if we get this sled, I think it's only about 16 pounds. There's little kick sleds where you're basically you can kick along and help the dog. The dog doesn't necessarily have to be pulling you the whole way. But I actually ordered this. It's a company. I have heard really good things about their sleds. This is a company in Austria. There are some people in the US that sell their sleds. At the time I was looking, people didn't have them. They were importing them. They didn't have them in stock. And again, I'm supposed to get an orange. They had red, blue, and orange, and I couldn't find anybody in the States that had the orange. So I actually just went ahead and ordered it straight from Europe. It was actually less expensive. It's not here yet, so knock on wood, I hope it gets here and it's not lost. It's just went through customs, I think, yesterday. But I did order the bright orange, and it has not arrived yet. So I will keep you guys posted on my this will be brand new for us, for Knox, not for Bachi. He's too old and feeble to be pulling anything. He's lucky if he can get around on his own without tripping and falling. But I will keep you posted. I wanted to give this a try, and just another fun thing to do outdoors in the winter weather to stay active. I love being active with my dogs and I both going out and doing exercise together. So we will give this a try. I have not purchased a GoPro yet, but I plan on getting one so I can take you along on my learning to mush with Knox journey. So we have a couple people here, I think, that have done some mushing with their dogs. And again, this is just a tiny little sled, just specifically for 1 and 2 dogs. It's one of the cheaper sleds they have, and they have all different types of sleds and racing sleds. So I will keep you posted. It should be hopefully arriving any day now. So you got any mushers here? I think we had some earlier. I'm not sure if they're still on. So that will be coming to Maine. I've gotten inspired to take up some new sports. So I want to try the mushing in the winter. And if some of you saw my previous post, this was, a few months ago. My new winter sport I want to try is sailing. Of course, I'm not going to do that with the dogs as I'm learning. I don't have a sailboat yet. But yeah, so try new things. And I think it keeps, for me, doing things outdoors is what I want to do. So yeah, Marty, you can ride and run beside it. Yep. I imagine I may be doing some hopping on and hopping off and kind of doing it kind of like the kick sleds and helping Knox along until we get to a nice smooth spot where it's going to coast along. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try. I'm just hoping it gets here and doesn't get stuck in all the lost packages sometimes that's happening this time of year. So again, if you want to get my email, I'll write some of this up, a little summary of what I went over today. I'll actually give the links to the different items that I shared, and just say email. If I don't have your email, message it to me so I can put you on my email list. But if you want me to send that email to you, I will have all this kind of summarized and get that out to those of you who are on my email list. And the last thing I wanted to leave you with is when it comes to canine fitness, it's great to have all this great fancy gear and equipment and getting new things. I typically hate shopping. I am not a shopper. I hate going to stores. I hate shopping. but I love shopping when it comes to stuff for my dogs and sports and like fitness related stuff. I do like to get stuff like that, but typically shopping, I usually despise shopping. But in addition to learning what to take with you and how to be safe, you also, if you're out there doing these things with your dogs, you have to make sure your dogs are prepared for the activity and are fit and healthy. One of the things is doing canicross with Knox. Pulling me when I'm running versus pulling a sled is very different on the physical stress on the body. So we've been, running 3, 4, 4.5 miles in canicross, and I'm really going to have to cut that down. And it's going to be short bouts of exercise when we're actually doing the sledding. So I need to build up more muscle, even more muscle, strength training. We picked up more exercises, increasing his shoulder exercises also. So you want to make sure that when you're doing these activities, that you are aware of, what shape is your dog in? Is your dog in good body condition? Have you properly prepared your dogs for the activities you're doing, whether it's a quarter mile pulling a sled to hiking for 4 hours or running alongside next to you for 6 miles. You want to make sure that your dog is properly conditioned. You want to make sure that as you're building up the fitness, you build up gradually, and you want to build up a balanced fitness program so that you're not doing just cardio, but you're building strength, you're building body awareness, you're building flexibility so that you're minimizing the chance of your dog getting injured and maximizing the opportunities of your dog to be out there and really enjoying the day with you and able to, hang out for that whole time of whatever activity you're doing. So if you want to know more about what some of those components are, what's involved to really have that fit canine and to be ready for your dog to do these types of things, if you've not taken it, I encourage you to hop on over to the caninefitnessquiz.com. It's Canine, the letter K, the number 9, fitnessquiz.com. And it's just a short little self-assessment. It breaks it into different categories of things that you really should be aware of when it comes to canine fitness and building canine fitness in your dog. So you could also possibly qualify for a free one-on-one consult, a fitness consult, by taking the quiz. It's not like a right or wrong. You just kind of rate your level of comfort level, how confident you are in the different scores that it has, and it should email you a summary, and then you can see in the categories where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses, and where might you want to get additional help. Also, if you don't know, I have online canine fitness programs. We have an online certification program, the Elite Canine Athlete, where you can become a certified canine athlete specialist. I have all kinds of free videos on our Northeast Canine Conditioning Facebook business page. So if you really want to learn more and dive into this, just, give a shout out, let me know. And I'd be happy to let you know where and how to get more information and help. So, Marty, you said, use the canicross belt to attach to it. Yep. So yeah, proper equipment is going to be really important. And I do have I think I have at least one Facebook live show where I talked about harnesses and equipment. Amelia, is there a common sense guideline as to the weight strength of the dog and the weight of the person for mushing? I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a certain recommended weight or percentage. What typically happens is when you have these one dog sleds and you have the smaller dogs is a lot of people will do the kick sleds. And a kick sled, you can actually kick sleds. I don't know if they were originally for people or if they were made. A lot of people you see the kick sleds it's not made for the dog. It's just people to have fun on, where they stand on it and they kind of kick along, and it's human powered. Right? So a lot of these single dog sleds, you'll see some people where they get the kick sleds and they attach their dog to it. And the kick sled is actually, like I said, it can be designed to be just human powered by itself. So if you have a kick sled, it doesn't really matter the size of the dog, because you can literally be doing all the work if you have to with the stepping. So it's more, I would say it's more a matter of what kind of sled you have. And how much you're, expecting your dog to pull you. But if you have a kick sled or a type of sled where you can actually help the dog, propel that dog along, you can actually do that and not necessarily even have the dog pulling you. You're just on that kick sled moving along and the dog's running in front, with some resistance, a small dog. So little dogs can do it, but you're not going to attach a tiny little dog to a sled and expect that dog to pull you. if you're going to do a smaller dog, then I would get something like a kick sled where you're actually out there, powering along, taking up the majority or all of that, and then kind of cruising along when you're hitting a flat surface. So I would say it's more a combination of the kind of sled you have and how much of the work are you doing versus how much of the work the dog is doing. And you'll know, you should know if your dog is straining or your dog is struggling. If you're like, oh, my dog needs help, this is too heavy or too hard. So like with Knox, with this one, I know it's going to be certain types of surfaces also. So if you're, for example, if you're pulling a sled on ice, and flat ice, you don't need a lot of strength and power to get that sled moving. But if you're doing the sled and you're trying to pull it through 6 inches of snow, and also depending on the type of snow, it's going to be harder. So there's a lot of criteria there. You got to look at the type of sled, the conditions that you're using it in, and then can a small dog go out? Well, yes, but you're going to be doing something like a kick sled where you're helping to power it along and you're not expecting that, 25-pound dog to pull you. So yeah. Cool. Any other questions? If I missed your question, this is live in a couple different places. So if I missed your question, please ask your questions. I will go and I will check afterwards. And also if you're watching the video replay, if you just reach out to me and message me if you're wanting to get the write-up on this. Like I said, if you're not on my email list, if you get on my email list, I'll make sure that when I do these types of things and get handouts or summaries or emails that go out, you're on the list. Let me know. And also, if this was helpful or informative, please feel free to share, because if it was helpful or interesting to you, then I'm sure others would benefit. And again, I just covered a real small piece of my winter preparation. I've been doing winter preparation for the car, winter preparation for the home, for my own clothing that I wear. So there's definitely been a lot of modifications over this past month preparing for the winter weather here in Maine. But some of these items, they were the ones that came to mind because I did a talk on this not too long ago, and I shared what I put in my backpack. And these have been immediate changes that I've made, specifically thinking about the colder weather and thinking a lot about safety issues. If there's an emergency, and just being prepared. And like I said, another thing for me is the fact that it's winter time, and also if you're out doing things alone with your dogs, you want to be prepared. So let me just give a quick rundown for those of you who might have caught the beginning. I'll just do a quick little rundown. So for canine fitness winter preparation, there are some unique things that we have to consider, especially with the colder weather, freezing weather, and also if you're out alone with your dogs for safety issues and being properly prepared. So a couple things I wanted to highlight of some recent purchases and things I've added or changed up in my backpack is a Garmin InReach Mini, a satellite communicator. There's different types, but I like this one. It's small. It was not horribly priced. It was, reasonably priced compared to some of the others. And it uses a satellite system to communicate. It has an SOS emergency button on here so that if your cell phone doesn't work or you lose coverage, or you're in your car gets stuck on the side of the road and it's cold and snowy out and your phone's not working, this is a great thing to have. Also, I needed to upgrade my backpack. When I carry a backpack, I carry my gear, my water for the dogs, a water dish. And in the winter, I have these types of things like carrying my Mini with me, my Garmin. But I needed to upgrade my backpack. I needed a little bit more space to also have some extra gloves, some clothing in there when I'm out on the trail in the winter weather with my dog. And then also, if you need a really nice warm dog jacket for your dog, Nonstop Dog Wear, the long distance jacket, I really, really like it. They do have lighter weight jackets if you're looking for something lighter weight. A lot of dogs, if you're just out there and active and keep them busy and moving, a lot of dogs don't necessarily need a jacket unless you have a dog that's super sensitive to the cold weather, or if you are really kind of in the really cold, kind of bitter climates. A medical kit. This is Adventure Dog series, the Working Dog Medical Kit. They have different types of medical kits. This is not just a winter thing. This is something everybody should have. Have it in your car, have it handy, have it at home. You can make your own medical kit, but the Adventure Dog series here, the Adventure medical kits, they have human medical kits and canine medical kits. This is something you might want to check out if you don't have one, a first aid kit. And then also for protecting the paws, rough terrain in the winter weather. Also, Musher's Secret, it comes highly recommended. And then also if you're looking for a winter sport to take up with your dog, to be active and fit outside and enjoy the winter weather, there is ski joring. If you have your dog attached to you in the skis, I am not that skilled in skiing, but I am going to give a try of sledding, and they have little small kick sleds or 1 to 2 dog sleds if you want to give it a try. And as I mentioned, it doesn't really necessarily depend on the size of your dog. If you have a type of a smaller sled or a kick sled where you can kind of help propel it along, that's a great way to be out and active. I didn't mention this. I also have snowshoes. So taking your dog out with snowshoes is another great fun outdoor activity. You can be active outdoors in the winter with your dog. And then finally, if you want to test your canine fitness quiz, hop on over to the caninefitnessquiz.com. It's the letter K, the number 9, caninefitnessquiz.com, and see where your fitness knowledge is. Because if you're out there and active and enjoying the outdoors with your dog, you want to make sure your dog is capable of keeping up, is fit and healthy, and also that your dog is properly conditioned and prepared to handle the demands of whatever it is you're doing. You don't want to jump into something too quickly, do too much too soon, because then you also risk potential injury for your dog. So there you go, fitness preparation for your cold weather activities. I'd love to hear things that you guys do, other things that you might throw into your backpack or take with you. Like I said, I did not cover everything, just kind of the highlights. And if you want to learn more, if you catch me every Friday, 8:30 p.m. on my Northeast Canine Conditioning Facebook business page. Frequently, we talk about canine fitness topics, business topics, sometimes just inspirational topics, but you will find a lot of my canine fitness videos. If you click on the Northeast Canine Conditioning Facebook business page, click on the video section, and you'll find a lot of these video replays. And then finally, if you want information, reach out to me for the email. I'll send you the updates and notes on this. You can also actually have this at the beginning. If you want to email me or reach out on Facebook, it's the very first slide. If you want to reach out, my email is info @northeastcanineconditioning.com. Again, that's the letter K and the number 9, northeastcanineconditioning.com. Reach out to me by email, by Facebook, if you want to get on our email list, get our updates, or if you have any questions about wanting to learn more about canine fitness. So awesome. I'll keep you guys posted. And like I said, once the sled gets in here and I start trying that out, you will hear more about it. So thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, you guys. Always go prepared. Please go prepared. Think about worst case scenario, and are you prepared for that? And go out and don't let the cold weather and the winter weather keep you indoors. You will be happier and healthier if you are out there enjoying it with your dog, but also stay safe and be prepared. So thank you so much for joining, you guys, and I will see you next Friday, again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Northeast Canine Conditioning Facebook page. Bye-bye for now.